Practices of self-care and self-love are so important. We all had some form of rejection or abandonment as children. When those traumas took place, it got interpreted as something like, I'm not lovable, I'm not deserving, I don't belong. Z Earthstar calls it the anti-self program. So we grow up with these anti-self programs installed within us, and as we get older, we don't think we are worthy of self-love. We think it's selfish to cultivate a loving relationship towards ourselves. And then we hope we can find a partner that will love us in all the ways we wished our parents would have. To say the least, the idea of love becomes distorted. Through the years working with clients, it's probably the most rampant problem on the planet, a lack of love. I wanted to create a video that focuses on getting back to the true divine love within ourselves. One of the first things I recommend is breath work. It's something that we all have access to at any moment, and it can almost immediately calm down your nervous system. Let's try it together right now. Take a long, deep breath through your nose, and then let it go. You can even sigh it out if you want to. As you breathe, feel the air entering into your lungs. Notice what's happening inside yourself. Allow your thoughts to just pass on by. You don't need to do anything right now, but just breathe. Give yourself a few minutes with this anytime you're getting overwhelmed. Just take a pause. If you do this regularly, you will start to notice that you can become more regulated. But it takes practice, so be patient. Another practice I recommend is meditation. If you can start your day in stillness, focusing on breath, and giving your mind a rest, it too can be a way to calm down, slow down, and move into the receptive state. It doesn't have to take too much time. This is uninterrupted time you can set aside for yourself. Then I recommend cultivating a relationship with all the parts of yourself. Get to know them. Here's an exercise by Dick Schwartz in his book, No Bad Parts. He says, "This is a brief meditation that I do a version of each day, as do many people who follow the IFS path. I encourage you to try it out as a daily practice. Get comfortable, and if it helps, take some deep breaths. Then start by focusing on and checking in with whatever parts you are actively working with. To do that, see if you can find each of them in or around your body, and get curious about how they're doing. That is, ask each part if there's anything it wants you to know, or if it needs anything, like you might with a child that's in your care. As you're getting to know it, at some point help it to get to know you better, the you that's with you now. Instead, they've been interacting with other parts in there, and they often believe that you are still a young child. Often, this is their first encounter with you, the you who's curious about them and cares about them. So let them know who you are, even how old you are, since they often think that you're much younger. Let them know that they're not alone anymore, and see how they react. You can ask, if you like, how old they thought you were. You can even ask them to turn around and look at you. After you've checked in with the parts you've begun working with, you can open space and invite any other parts that need attention to come forward, and just wait and see what trailheads, thoughts, emotions, sensations, impulses emerge. In a similar way, get to know these new ones and help them to get to know you. This next piece is optional and may or may not happen. Revisit each of them, one at a time, and invite them to relax and open space inside, so you may be more in your body. If a part's willing to do that, you'll notice a palpable shift in your body or your mind toward more spaciousness and peace in that place where the part seems to reside. If that doesn't happen, don't despair, as they may not know you well enough, and trust that it's safe to do that, and that's fine. If they do separate, notice that more embodied, spacious sense of who you are and the qualities you feel when you're in that place. What's it like in your body and mind now? Notice that spaciousness, the sense of well-being and enoughness, that you are enough. Also notice the feeling like there's nothing to do right now and everything is okay. Some people spontaneously feel a vibrating energy running through their body, making their fingers and toes tingle. This is what some people call chi or kundalini or prana, but in IFS we call it the self energy. I'm inviting you to get a felt sense of what it's like for you, yourself, to be more embodied. If you can become somatically familiar with this state, then you can notice when you're there and when you're not there as you go through your day. Any departures from that state are usually due to the activity of parts that have blended to some degree and are giving you distracting thoughts, blocking the flow of energy, closing your heart, making you feel pressure in different places, etc. You can notice those activities and then reassure the parts doing them that they don't have to, that it's safe to unblend, at least for the duration of the meditation. Afterward, they can jump back to attention if they really want to. I have found, however, that through this practice, parts gradually increase their trust that it's safe and beneficial to let the self embody. They also trust that the self is remembering and checking in on them, and that it's being a good inner parent. All of this self-leadership helps them to step out of their parentified roles and consider unburdening. In the next minute or so, I invite you to shift your focus back outside. Before you come back, though, thank your parts either for letting you embody more, or if they didn't, for letting you know they were too afraid to do so just yet. Then come back when it feels right. I highly recommend reading the book if you want to dive deep into healing your trauma and really get to know yourself more. Other practices include taking salt baths, spending time in nature, speaking loving, kind words to yourself, writing in a journal, doing yoga, using loving touch practices, ecstatic dance, being creative, and so much more. These are all ways to cultivate self-love and self-care. If you can, put this into a daily practice, and then you will find that you will grow in leaps and bounds. When difficult things arise, you will have the tools to help you get through. And over time, it will literally rewire your brain and change your perspective. Life will be seen through the lens of pure magic, and you will start to notice it in all the little things all around you.